I have been asked to read The Night Before Christmas. You know this book? Anybody else know this book? Come on, all you big kids, raise your hand.
Yes. Yes.
Now, this is the story of The Night Before Christmas. Okay. And I want to read it to you. And you may think, well, now, wait a minute. This isn't the story of Christmas.
That's okay.
But it is a story of
Yes.
Christmas. And in what you're going to hear here today, you notice those two words together, hear.
Yeah.
In poetry, you can just go wild in your thinking. And believe me, my version of this is much wilder than what this is.
Telling me this morning.
'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with... By the way, kids, thanks for coming up and sitting down. It's my story. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. Now, Cody, if you would hear the way I usually
Oh my gosh.
do that, you would say that's not right. The children were nestled all snug in their beds while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. Do you know what a sugar plum is? Well, that's all of us. None of us really know what a sugar plum is. But this book kind of helps us because there's candy canes and gingerbread man and all these things kind of floating through in a dream. So that, maybe that means something that tastes good. But Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap, we had just settled down for a long winter's nap. Now, you might not know this, but I sleep with a cap on.
At night.
I do, I really do. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash.
He says throw out the trash.
It's just always a question that I've had.
Oh my gosh.
Corned beef hash. Yeah, there you go. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave a luster of midday to objects below. When what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny... I always thought it was 18.
18 reindeer.
Nuh-uh. 8 tiny reindeer. With a little old driver so lively and... not old. He was quick. I knew the moment it must be seen. More rapid than eagles, his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now help me here. Now, Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, and Vixen. On Comet, on, and listen. Wow, you guys are pretty good. To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Now dash away, dash away, dash away all. I love you say it like that. I've said it like that for a long time now. As dry leaves, and then they got the snow on the ground. Now, can you imagine that? It's kind of a twisted story, isn't it? Okay. But we'll go on here. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky. So up to the housetop the coursers they flew with a sleigh full of toys. And Santa Claus, too. It says here St. Nicholas, but I knew who he was. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof on the roof. Now, if any of you here are roofers, you've got a job next spring.
My
As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. Boy, that must have been a big chimney, huh? Don't try that in our small chimneys. It doesn't work anymore. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of joy he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. Who's ever seen a peddler's pack? It's not very big, is it? No. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little... What is a droll little mouth? Can anybody tell me what a droll little mouth is?
drool? No.
His dribbling little mouth. You know.
Oh my God. So gross.
That was wrong?
Yes.
Okay. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard on his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face, the fireplace. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. I love that part. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself.
Is it Pastor Tom?
A wink of his eye, and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to be anxious about, to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk. I didn't know he had somebody with him.
Oh.
So he had a jerk along with him. And laying his finger aside of his nose and giving a nod up the chimney, he rose.
Oh my Lord. Almost done. Woo! Almost there.
He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle,
Whistle.
and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, ere he drove out of sight, oh, that page is missing.
No.
What did he say? Fooled you, huh? Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Oh, boy. That is hard work, reading that story and trying to stay on.